Hi, how's it going? My name is Fitzy and I want to talk about Cyber Monday and my GoPro 6 alternative. I sold my GoPro 5 and my gimbal. Basically, I had some spare money and was like, I want to step up the game. I want to have the GoPro 6 or maybe switch to something else. And I decided to switch to something else. I got a couple reasons why. Here are a couple reasons why I did not buy the GoPro Hero 6. I think Fondo, he made a review about the action cams, and basically the image quality is not really better than the GoPro Hero 5, but the image stabilization was way better, and that was the reason why I want to sell my GoPro Hero 5 actually, because I want to have those smooth shots. And because of that, I decided to sell my GoPro Hero 5 with the gimbal, because I use not the gimbal. It's too inconvenient, and with the GoPro Hero 5 you will not have really good audio quality at all with the gimbal, because you will hear the motors of the gimbal and you will have that weird sound that the GoPros have. Also, the GoPro Hero 6 still has the bad sound like the GoPro Hero 5, because you can take the GoPro actually underwater. Because the GoPro is waterproof, the microphone will be not good at all, and that is the drawback of the waterproof housing of the GoPro. It's a big downside for me, and that was also the main decision why I switched things up now. Price was the other thing. GoPro Hero 6 is about $500 plus taxes. The microphone adapter that you could buy to basically step up the audio game from the GoPro Hero 6 is about $50, and the $50 and the $500 are not taxed. So that means you have to spend a couple dollars extra even just to get a working camera that got 4K and 60 frames per second. So my goal basically was get an action cam that is 4K 30 frames at least and has some really nice image stabilization. And I found the Sony FDR x3000. It has really good image quality. I think Fondo tested also this camera, and it was better than the GoPro Hero 5. And after I saw the test footage of the GoPro Hero 6, that was worse than the GoPro Hero 5, but had better low light capabilities. I decided I want to have a better image quality, and I don't mind having a little bit worse low light images, because overall I will shoot in the daylight and at sunlight. So this was the reason why I decided to go with the FDR x3000, let's call it just the Sony action cam, because the Sony action cam has just a better image quality, and it has 4K 30 frames. And it has optical image stabilization, what means the image will be stabilized in between here with the lenses. So the lenses are moving a little bit to make up. I heard some people are saying it's gimbal-like footage, and I shot some test footage. You saw it in the beginning, and now I show you the best shot where I think that is the biggest selling point. I'm basically walking down the stairs, and let's see how the image looks.
Cannot test the action cam without seeing a gator here in Florida.
Actually, there was a couple more reasons. The GoPro Hero 6 audio quality sucks, so I had to buy a GoPro adapter for $50, and then I have to basically hook it up with a microphone for like whatever, $10 to $50 or $100, whatever you buy. It's depending, but that adds up. So that's already $550 just to have a camera with working conditions. But Also, you have to include the taxes. So we're talking about $600 for a camera that has then 4K 60 frames per second. But you cannot use those 4K 60 frames per second if you want to have the image stabilization. That means you have to dial down to the 4K 30 frames per second. And that was my whole thought about buying the next action cam. I had the GoPro Hero 5 with the gimbal, but because the gimbal and the GoPro 5 are a little bit complicated to use, so it's like a little bit inconvenient carrying that stuff around. It's inconvenient to have the bad audio if you have the GoPro in the gimbal. And I was like, do I really want to do that? And I decided to size down, sell everything. So everything, I mean my GoPro shenanigans, and buy that Sony action cam. The Sony action cam is basically the FDR x3000, and that's a complicated name, so I will just call the action cam. Yeah, and it has 4K 30 frames per second and an optical image stabilization. I tested the camera out actually yesterday already, and I figured out the audio is excellent compared to the GoPro, what is like, oh my gosh. Don't talk about that. Now we're talking about the Sony. Yeah, pretty happy with the deal so far. I spent a total of $400, and basically I spent nothing because I sold my GoPro 5 and all my gear that I had with it. Yeah, and I got actually a free underwater housing with it, what is better than the GoPro. And yeah, technically that's also again better and for less. So yeah, and that's my whole concept here. We're going for cheap and better instead of like expensive and worse. The SteadyShot works, and so far I saw it yesterday a little bit and works well, but I did not test it to the extreme, and that's what I want to do in the next video. So stay tuned, and yeah, subscribe, like, share, whatever. Yeah, save some money.